Today on Upfront, the future of Lake Michigan. Upfront goes on location for an in-depth look at the lake that's a natural wonder and an economic engine for Wisconsin. Next, the threat of invasive species. Are we keeping them at bay? Plus, lake tourism, the impact of visitors on communities from Door County to Kenosha, and preserving the lake for future generations. Is the Great Lakes Compact doing its job?
Covering the issues important to Wisconsin. This is Upfront with Mike Goucher.
Hello and welcome to Upfront. I'm Kent Wainscott, filling in this week for Mike Goucher. With the sounds of Summerfest in the background, we're at Discovery World in Milwaukee for a special program looking at the importance of and the critical issues affecting Lake Michigan. You can see it here behind me. Lake Michigan defines Milwaukee and Wisconsin, not only geographically, but also culturally, and some would say even spiritually. It's one of our most valuable natural resources, the lifeblood of communities up and down the shoreline, providing fresh drinking water, jobs, and recreation. Today on Upfront, we're looking at the threat of invasive species, the impact of tourism, and the future management of Great Lakes water. We'll begin with invasive species. You've heard the names zebra mussels, quagga mussels, Asian carp, just to name a few. Today we ask, are we winning the war against invasive species? And my guest today is Bob Wakeman of the Wisconsin DNR, the coordinator for invasive species. And let's start with the status report. How are we doing in this fight?
Well, we can look at it a couple different ways. We can look at it nationally, we can look at it regionally, and we can look at it just within Wisconsin. Let's start nationally. Nationally, there are more states that are involved in aquatic invasive species protection than at any other time. I think today in this country, aquatic invasive species are almost a household word. Regionally, I think we're doing pretty well. We haven't had a new aquatic invasive species found in the Great Lakes since 2006. And that's due to some ballast water changes, which has really helped. In the state of Wisconsin, I think we're doing pretty well. We've completed a 5-year study that looked at the spread of aquatic invasive species in the state of Wisconsin. And the good news is that the rate is not going up. It is flattened out. And we'd like to attribute that to all of our education and outreach efforts and the cooperation of boaters and anglers and trappers and everybody else that use the waters of the state.
Let's talk about ballast water, because that is one of the leading causes. We've had some changes in the policing and the regulations, and there are more proposed. Where do we stand?
Ballast water is really a changing arena. There's saltwater and there's freshwater systems. We've got ships that are going from Europe to the United States that obviously are bringing salt water with them. Right now, they're required to exchange their ballast water mid-ocean, and that's been extremely successful. Since 2006, since that rule went into place, there hasn't been a new AIS discovered in the Great Lakes. That's the good news. There are some proposals that are out there that suggest that they would change some of that. We don't really want to see that. The other part of the ballast water issue, and that is the treatment of the ballast water. What happens is ships that are empty carry a lot of water to maintain their stability while crossing the ocean. That ballast water can contain a lot of organisms that would be harmful if brought into the Great Lakes. So one of the things that is being asked is that that ballast water gets treated so that any organisms that are in that ballast water would be eliminated before they discharge it to our Great Lakes. The problem is there hasn't been a successful freshwater treatment system designed and implemented yet, so we're still struggling with that. And even the saltwater treatment systems, we're not real good at it yet. So that's part of the problem, is we don't have real good treatment systems available for shippers to implement yet.
All right, let me get to some of the things that people actually can see, a tangible impact from the invasive species here in the lake. Right here along this Lake Michigan shoreline in Milwaukee, not that many years ago, there was a massive cleanup because there was a problem with Cladophora, the dried seaweed washing ashore and rotting. There was a smell that was associated with it, and that was all connected to an outbreak of zebra mussels in the area. The lake is much better, the shoreline has been improved, but what about the zebra mussels?
Zebra mussels are a very small mussel that was brought across in ballast water of ships. And when that ballast water was discharged, the zebra mussel velager, or the larval stage, was discharged. They found Lake Michigan to be a great home. They exploded in their numbers. They filter a lot of water. Each zebra mussel, which might be maybe an inch long, can filter about 1 liter of water every day. Multiply that by millions of zebra mussels and you get Lake Michigan filtering all the time. Zebra mussels cleared the water. They took out the phytoplankton, which are this microscopic algae that's floating in the water. They cleared it up really nice, which allowed the light to penetrate all the way down to the bottom in many areas of Lake Michigan, which then stimulated the growth of what's called a benthic algae called Cladophora. That Cladophora bloomed, it would break, wash up on the shore, decompose, smell, get lots of complaints. We don't see as much of that anymore. Zebra mussels have been replaced by another invasive mussel called a quagga mussel. There are far more quagga mussels in Lake Michigan today than there are zebra mussels. Very similar type of mussel.
Do they pose the same threat?
They pose the same, they do the same thing. They filter water, they take the algae out of the water, they keep the water clear. So that function still remains.
All right, let me ask you about another highly publicized invasive species, and that's the Asian carp. There's been a lot of attempt to prevent the Asian carp from reaching the lakes. How have we done with that?
I think we're doing pretty well. There have been some Asian carp reports, captures in Lake Erie many years ago, but there isn't a sustainable population in any of the Great Lakes. We don't think there's any in Lake Michigan, for example. A lot of it is focused on the electrical barrier in Chicago, because there are Asian carp that are moving up the Mississippi River and up the Illinois. They could potentially get through the Chicago area waterway system. That electrical barrier that's there, which is operated by the Army Corps of Engineers, is preventing their movement into the Great Lakes.
And it's working.
And it's working. There are some concerns with barge traffic and allowing small Asian carp to travel with those barges through the barrier, but the Army Corps is looking at that and working on that issue as well.
Bob Wakeman of the Wisconsin DNR, we appreciate your time. Thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take a moment now to consider the sheer size of Lake Michigan. These facts come from NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which says Lake Michigan is the 3rd largest of the Great Lakes and the 5th largest lake in the world. It has 1,640 miles of shoreline and covers more than 22,000 square miles. We'll learn more about the lake throughout this program.
Still to come on Upfront, the allure of Lake Michigan, the site's popular for tourists, and what those visitors mean for local communities. And later, Waukesha's successful bid to tap Lake Michigan for drinking water. Will other communities now apply? That's when Upfront continues.
Upfront with Mike Goucher, brought to you by the American Transmission Company and the Wisconsin Corn Growers Association.